we've lamented the likely presidential rematch too many times to count. And when you think about it, really, in a country of 330 million Americans, it's hard to imagine the best we can do is a Trump-Biden rematch. There has to be hope out there somewhere, but here we are. And now the hottest conversation in Washington, D.C. is about the potential of a third-party candidate. What would that mean? What would that do? Polling shows 70% of Americans don't want President Biden to run again. 61% say the same about former President Trump. Now, here's the problem. No labels may re-elect Donald Trump. That's writing from William Galston in the Wall Street Journal. Quote, the centrist group's candidate would take unenthusiastic voters away from Biden. Christine Todd Whitman is here, former New Jersey governor, co-creator of the Forward Party, which describes itself as a new and better way to do politics. I think we can all agree we'd love a better way to do politics, ma'am. It's nice to see you. Thank you. Is there a third lane that does not virtually guarantee Joe Biden loses and Donald Trump becomes president again?
Well, the Forward Party is not involved in the presidential at all. We're not running a presidential candidate. Obviously, people who are part of Forward can endorse presidential candidates or be part of that. But that's not where we're focused. I mean, there are over 500,000 elective offices across the country, and in any given year, fully 70% of those are not contested. That's just wrong. Everyone should have a choice, and that's why we believe in order to get the kind of candidates we want at the federal level eventually for president is by changing the way we choose our candidates. And that means open primaries, ranked choice voting. Those are the things that we're supporting at Forward, as well as candidates who will support the rule of law and the Constitution and be willing to work across the aisle. Those are where our focus is at the state and local, at those decision-making points that most directly affect your everyday life. There are other groups such as no label.
Yeah, I think about this. We had Larry Hogan on the Hill last night. Fine man, was a Republican governor in a deep blue state, the very kind of person we need in elected office, whether you agree on it with every issue or not. It's those kinds of people of character. And he said, I have absolutely no interest in running for the United States Senate because nothing gets done there and all the problems that you just talked about. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.